Wolves up 1-0. FNATIC. Very, very strong game. I'm the four-court jester, with me in Sigma Theory. And we're going to get into game number 2 as soon as Cyanide comes back from the bathroom.
Well, they are human. They gotta take care and control and make sure that they're performing at optimal situations. So, Jester, I do have to ask for our viewers, those of them that want to see more of you, Jester, where can they go to find more of you?
Google's your best friend. Four-court jester is pretty much just my ID everywhere. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Exactly as you see here on the stream. Every realm I think I own the name on as well for League of Legends. And yeah, I've been around the scene as well, so it's pretty well documented by now. But you're a bit more of a newer face to the scene in Sigma.
That I am. Yeah, I kind of just fell into it, and I've absolutely just been, I've been bitten by that bug, as you kind of say. Once you start, you find every pot that you can get into, and you really hammer it in it.
Wow, I screwed up saying good luck, have fun. GG.
Good job, Jester.
But I think you're out there on Twitter and Facebook in Sigma Theory. I mean, that's at least what I put here for your casting credit.
You know it. You got it. Yeah, I've been doing a lot more on my YouTube lately, but yeah. So that's pretty much where you'd find it. So I believe, yeah, we did get into that first game, or the second game. Now FNATIC securing a victory for game 1. We're going on to game 2 here.
Yes, sir. That is exactly right. Here on a beautiful Sunday, December 9th, the first THOR Open League of Legends, looking for that slice of pie. About 10,000 US is the exchange rate for first place, and I do believe it's a very sharp cutoff for second place. Not entirely too sure what third. I think they get 10,000 of the Swedish kronas.
I believe so. That's what I have written down here.
70,000, 20,000, 10,000. But still, that's a very sharp drop-off. But either way, I mean, if FNATIC can keep playing as they are, they're going to be able to solidify that cash in their pocket, and then maybe they can, buy some alarms and some clocks and some maps, and next time they won't be late.
Oh, come on! It's an esport event. When does that ever go absolutely smoothly?
Never.
All right, so FNATIC banning out Olaf first pick. Actually, another Olaf ban. We haven't, we've been seeing him picked a lot. I guess they just don't necessarily want to deal with that. I mean, Copenhagen Wolves, they've been playing Olaf with a lot of really good, opportunities. So Diana coming out as a ban from Wolves, their first ban. Cho'Gath being banned out from FNATIC. That's another target ban against,
Sven.
Against Sven, yeah. And then Vayne banning out, of course, you have to ban out Rekkles' Vayne. Rengar, last ban for FNATIC, and then Gragas being banned out from the Wolves. That one's actually a little bit interesting. Now, we did hear from Godbro that, again, they have something up their sleeve. So I'm wondering if that Gragas ban isn't so much a target ban as it is a we don't want this to counter our strategy ban.
I can't imagine it's a target ban because it's absolutely it's the first we've seen of it. And if we do have something up there, I kind of assumed that accelerated metagame from last round. I mean, we took 2 towers from the Wolves in 10 minutes and a dragon to their name. I was hoping that that was going to be their deal breaker against FNATIC, but if it's now or never. If that wasn't it has to be now, because this is do or die. They're down 1-0 in a best of 3, so we can hope and we can pray. Something to note here, that those are the same bans from FNATIC from game 1: Olaf, Cho'Gath, Rengar.
Yeah, that is rather interesting that they're banning out the jungle and the top lane rather than like what we're seeing with other bans that usually they're targeted towards the mid lane or even they have Vayne for the AD carry or even mostly the support. But actually, now that I realize it, Zyra was able to be picked up by Wolves. So instead of banning it out and taking it away from FNATIC, we're actually seeing them just take it themselves with that Elise pick. So that's rather interesting. xPeke picking up Ezreal for the AD carry on FNATIC, and then Leona actually getting picked up. I believe that's the first we've seen of her so far this tournament.
You might be right on that. I think I was specking a Leona before the tournament just to ensure stream settings. But yeah, I don't think we've seen a Leona this exact tournament. But I mean, she is a nice offensive support in that bottom lane. I mean, we've seen a lot of Lulu and we've seen a lot of Zyra. I think Zyra's almost been a 100% pick this tournament, at least when it comes to the Copenhagen Wolves and FNATIC. But Leona, I mean, at the same time, that Zenith Blade has a really good knack of getting into your back line. I mean, that it doesn't matter how many people are in front of you. She's going to get into that back line, get off that block, that solar flare. Really nice initiation on their part. And at the same time, again, we're not seeing any form of bans against Lee Sin against FNATIC. I think they've had a 100% Lee Sin tournament.
Huh. You know what? I'd have to look at that sounds about right, yeah. Xin Zhao getting picked up on the side of Wolves, and then Corki getting picked up as well. I'm still not picturing anything big from that, that Gragas ban. I mean, I guess if you have a mid lane Elise, Gragas would do pretty well because he can just outrange. Once you get close to Elise, that's the biggest issue. So if you have, a Gragas barrel farming from far away, plus the natural sustain that he has, I'm a little interested to see what their last pick would be, but it looks like Katarina getting locked in, and then Mundo locked in for FNATIC as well. So there's obviously going to be a Katarina mid lane and a Mundo jungle, as well as another, sOAZ Lee Sin. We haven't seen sOAZ run something like Kha'Zix yet, or another one of those off chance picks.
Fizz. I mean, he's not locked in, but just the idea of a Fizz, that would probably be a mid lane Fizz.
Okay. See, this is why I wanted to wait for that 5th pick. If he locks that one in, that would make sense as to why they would ban out that Gragas. I mean, although they did have last pick, but it's interesting. I mean, just knowing that Fizz could very well be picked, and it works well with the team. I mean, they don't have any real, front tank. Like, yeah, there it is, that Fizz lock in. Okay, so it's
gonna be a top lane Fizz. No, sorry, Bjergsen's mid. What am I saying?
Yeah, it's a mid lane. He's not actually taking flash though. He's taking barrier ignite on that.
Looking for them dives. I mean, with the Urchin Strike and the Playful Trickster, I mean, you do have some mobility and some damage reduction coming out of that. So barrier ignite, of course. Again, barrier, really good counter to ignites, but we're only rocking 2 ignites so far for the FNATIC crew. I mean, they could change up their summoners at the last moment, but xPeke is actually looking at a teleport.
That's it. We saw that back in IPL 5 too. They run Katarina with teleport, and then they end up just using that general, that mobility from Katarina to just run to a lane that's about to get dove on and pick off and get a, like a double kill that the last time we saw him run Katarina, that first thing that came out immediately from the game was that teleport top when it was running 1v2, and they started to get dove on, and they got a double kill off of it. So, actually rather interesting. And again, we could also see, a lane swap coming out of this one at the same time. I would assume that FNATIC wants to run their Ezreal Leona against the Corki Zyra, but that Corki Zyra is a very bursty lane. It's not something you want to comfortably go up against and safely farm with. You really have to be careful when it comes down, obviously, to that lane. It's just that Fizz pick it's blowing my mind at this point. I cannot remember the last time we've seen Fizz in competitive play.
Or any play. I have not seen a Fizz. The last time I saw a Fizz was a kill lane bottom, Fizz and Lee Sin, support Lee Sin. That's a pretty nasty combo because he can just Urchin Strike in, you safeguard in with Lee Sin, Tempest, and then usually it's over because now you got 2 people in your face. But I'm taking a quick look at Bjergsen. He's actually not changing his runes And he's still rocking 2190, so it's exact same runes as all the ranged AP that he has been doing, as well as his Diana. So there's no special kind of runes coming out of this. And once again, that Gragas ban, what were they going for a Gragas ban just to hide a Fizz pick? And that's kind of the question of the day at this point.
I would love to actually talk to them and sit down and ask what that was about, because I mean it would make sense that if you did pick Fizz early on, Gragas is kind of one of the biggest issues with that, between not only his ult would really just displace a Fizz entirely, even if Fizz Urchin strikes in, you still got the ult to just completely destroy that positioning, but on top of that you do have that range, and Fizz can't really get close enough. I mean, he's got to blow an Urchin strike and then the troll pole to just get close enough to Gragas to actually deal with that. So and then I don't know, it seems like the FNATIC's team is a little bit more balanced, in the sense that they have they have the tank, they have the initiator, they have hard carries on both the mid lane and as the AD carry, but it's not always, clearly going that route with, the meta is not always absolutely necessary. And I'm wondering if Wolves is actually just sticking up and going, let's go straight up for an early game win, because you have Xin Zhao, you have the Corki Zyra, burst lane, and even Fizz, he's still really strong, before level 6. He doesn't have to wait to get that shark for level 6 to actually be a big deal.
Chum the waters. Thinking about Chum the Waters, when you get people nice and bunched up, it is a really good spell, because just that AoE damage coming out. And they do have Zyra. I mean, they will be able to combine the Zyra ult with the Fizz. Not so much maybe Elise or Corki, and kind of Xin Zhao seems like it works against it, but either way, with that Crescent. Game number 2, FNATIC up 1-0. They're going to be on your blue side here. Wolves on your red, down that first game, and this is kind of their do or die situation. So will this surprise Fizz pick with no flash, no exhaust, instead of barrier and ignite, can that help Wolves win the game against this superior FNATIC gameplay?
It's gonna be close. I mean, obviously when you pick something like Fizz and you don't take a flash and you run 2 very aggressive summoner spells, you're planning on that being aggressive. Oops, FNATIC right now invading into the jungle. XL Winner actually spotting this one out. She did get a root off just in time and avoiding that Zenith Blade. Okay, so FNATIC here not actually super successful with this invade, but they are warding that one out as well.
Yeah, making sure to keep tabs on the red buff. So it is warded out. We do got that ping going down. We also have a ping now on the bush where Godbro is. And again, I got to be curious. Are we going to be seeing a little bit of a lane swap just to keep Godbro down? Because it worked extremely well last game.
Yeah, I guess the Zyra, that's probably something you want to do. sOAZ actually tossing a Sonic Wave into that bush, and luckily there was that little spider there to take the brunt of that damage. So yeah, FNATIC's going to have to turn around and not going to be able to invade straight up onto this one.
Well, no lane swap at least coming out from FNATIC, and Godbro is going to be staying up top. So nRated and Rekkles will be in this bottom lane. So can we see that aggression and that bottom lane dominance from a Leona and Ezreal? It looks like they're also going to be helping out Cyanide pick up this red first. So blue first here for the Wolves, red first for Mr. Mundo. Mundo doesn't really need the blue to start things off, but able to just chunk it down really nice. Is going to be a smiteless, so he will have it for that blue. And now Cyanide is Mundo, and Mundo has had a history, or at least a good history, of being able to counter jungle. Are we going to see something about that, or with the new Season 3 jungle, is he going to be just more in his own territory?
Well, he didn't take the Hunter's Machete, so his clear time is going to be a little bit slow. But because he took that Cloth 5, he's going to be able to leave with a little bit more health after the total of it. So it's very possible for him to counter jungle. I mean, of course you do have Xin Zhao right now, who did pick up that Hunter's Machete. He's clearing extremely quickly, and he didn't have his used his smite on that blue buff, or no, actually he didn't. He got a smiteless pull as well. So Rather interesting. Yeah, it looks like FNATIC pinging down that red, knowing that Xin Zhao is there. And
yeah. But because they know he's there, look at sOAZ. He's just really putting on the pain to this top lane. Pain in the mid as well. xPeke maybe not winning out that trade. We did get that ignite off, but we still have barrier here for Bjergsen. So I wonder if we're going to see an all-in from him in the next few moments.
I don't know, but bot lane right now, Zenith Blade going out on top of the TheTess and Winner. Both of them are extremely low. The ignite's just ticking away onto Corki. He's actually going to be able to make it out alive on this one. It's just all of them got aggressive at the exact same time.
Maybe it's just these timings, man. It's just these timings. Bjergsen's still able to hold up fairly well in the mid. Now, against Katarina, a manaless champion, he just has to keep eating a lot of the bouncing blades. But since they are both melee, every time that he does come into range, you see Fizz trying to just land that damage over time from his passive, which I believe he does have. Yeah, the Seastone Trident. He does have it skilled. Good. A little bit of damage over time that he keeps trying to apply just to trade out with xPeke. But bouncing blades are something he's going to just have to keep eating at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of a back and forth lane. I mean, neither clearly has a really huge advantage. Early on, xPeke does have that ability. Urchin Strike popping in, trying to do some damage out to xPeke, but he actually did take quite a bit in return for that. So, it's kind of going both ways. I mean, XL Winner actually had to leave the TheTess alone bottom lane, so Corki sitting at 24 CS to 25 coming in from Ezreal. But one thing I actually wanted to point out is nRated started the game with a Doran's Shield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen that before, actually. Doran's Shield first on the support. I think it was maybe the Lulu, but there's the Zenith Blade going in for the stun on top of the TheTess, but still, those plants able to do a lot of damage in this bot lane. A possible gank up top from Sven's, but he's going to get just noticed by that ward. And again, Bjergsen's still in this mid lane with xPeke, still eating those bouncing blades.
Yeah, I mean, of course you want to trade back and forth with that one. Katarina started out a rejuvenation bead, so every time she tosses something and gets a trade onto Fizz, I mean, she's going to come out in the long run ahead. But again, I mean, we had Fizz start out with only a crystalline flask and a couple of potions. We had Ezreal start out with a crystalline flask and a couple of potions. We didn't see him start like Cloth 5 this time, or even like a longsword or even boots at that point. So I mean, everyone is just trying to bully each other out of lane. No one really has a straight up count at this situation.
Well, the babysitting from Sven's in the mid is going to force Katarina back home. Katarina, because she did have a little bit of alone time in the mid, has taken a bit of a creep lead, but I got to point out again, Rekkles bottom lane, 42 creeps to the 34 now of Corki, and they're consistently pushing it into the towers. So the TheTess and XL Winner having a little bit of a rough time that bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, 42 CS on Ezreal, it's at this point, it's kind of starting to get a little dangerous. I mean, he hasn't gone back to buy yet, so he's sitting on 1,300 gold. I think at this point he's just like waiting to get a BF sword or to go back when he can to buy a bunch of items. Because Corki came back with a lane with those 2 Doran's blades and a cloth armor. So I mean, he's going to be able to trade a little bit better. But he's still missing a lot of experience. He's missing a lot of last hits from a Godbro actually getting engaged on by sOAZ, but he did land that stun, so he was able to kind of shut down that trading early on.
Yeah, if we get into that position where Lee Sin can just come out behind Godbro with that dragon kick into the creeps, it could be a bad time for him. But of course, Elise is that spider, can just go up into the ceiling, so to speak, of the game and just reposition herself accordingly. But still, mid lane, creeps have been fairly back and forth. They're pretty much just on par with each other. Katarina a little bit behind just due to the timings of when she went back versus Bjergsen. But Bjergsen again, just landing that damage over time with the Urchin Strike. It's still a lot of potions, a lot of flasks coming out of him. He did return to lane Doran's and the Boots of Speed, whereas we just went again for the Sork Shoes, xPeke. He seems to still be much more that Season 2 mentality. Pick up the boots too before anything else.
Yeah, and it's not a terribly bad idea either, because especially when you're running like a teleport Katarina, you want to move around the map quickly if you have to, and even if you want to get away from a Fizz, Fizz obviously doesn't have any really big skill shots besides his ult. I mean, it's not something you normally see. But having that magic penetration, I mean, come out from the boots, that's really probably the most important part.
Sneaky, sneaky. We got Svenskeren down here. We do got a ping down on top of it, and the Mystic Shot should be enough to reveal that Sven is in there throwing down, looking for that root, but I think we're just going to end up wasting Sven's time more than anything because we did have that ping going down. So FNATIC is aware of it. Good attempt, though. Still looking for this first blood 8 minutes into the game. Gold is relatively even as we just keep trading off farm. Again, though, I got to say, Rekkles just really on point with his last hits.
Yeah, and no one's been blowing any like major summoner spells either. They want, you know, clearly you want someone on, you know, your team to get that first blood, but Godbro actually engaging on top of sOAZ. sOAZ taking quite a bit of damage, but he's going to have to pull back off of this one as well.
And we do have one potion, and of course that Dorn's as well, blocking out with the defensive mastery. sOAZ, however, not the best of moves. Has to use that Dragon Kick to get back out, but A-okay. No deaths as of yet. I don't foresee an all-in coming out from Godbro because he could get bursted down. Once again, going for that just damaging bruiser type on Lee Sin. Mid lane, however, Bjergsen is not going to get the best of that exchange either. Chum the Waters versus Death Lotus, you really got to time that out well.
Yeah, you need to make sure you get that Chum out early enough and land it onto Katarina, because if you can't get that, you really don't have a way to shut down her ult.
nRated taking a lot of damage in this bot lane as well, just auto attacks as well as the Zyra harass, so he's going to have to pot back up. If he does want to jump into this, it has to be an extremely well-placed Solar Flare to get off that stun, but Cyanide could be in a little bit of trouble. It is found out by Svens. Here comes xPeke as well. Cyanide having to use that regeneration, but looks like he's going to be alright as well. Elise coming down, so is sOAZ. So now we could have a nice old 3-on-3. Sven going to be going in with the Crescent Slash, looking for the kill on top of xPeke. Did not grab it, but Godbro is going to be jumping in, looking for that flash. The Death Lotus, however, will pick up that first blood from xPeke. Really good reaction time from both teams there. Sven just going to be trying to get on out of this, but Bjergsen jumps in with that Ignite. Will it not get the kill? So low hit points, and that's going to be a nice 2-0. Bottom lane, however, is going to keep on with the action. XL Winner does drop. Or no, sorry, the other way around. XL Winner, no, he did drop. That's cool. And so will the Wolf. Oh, look at that barrier. Beautiful barrier. Rekkles, however, says he's going to have none of that.
You know, in a span of 10 minutes, we almost saw no really big, you know, kills happen. But as soon as Mundo got caught out inside that jungle, and top lane and mid from both teams had to come down to deal it out. I mean, Elise got caught out for a second. That Chum the Water came into the fight, and it didn't actually latch onto anyone, so they were able to make it out in time. Elise just overcommitted onto a Katarina. I think he expected Katarina to have already blown his ult at that point, but it clearly wasn't enough for them to trade that one out. So, you know, Wolves did come really, really far behind into that trade. So right now, 15,700 gold for FNATIC's, 12,800 for the Wolves.
I think the big problem there was that Chum the Waters, I mean, we had the Crescent Strike go off, and then we had the Chum actually missing FNATIC. I mean, that could have been really the big deal breaker right there. But Bjergsen is able to land it here on top of xPeke, throws down that ward, is able to get off the Shunpo, and at the same time the FNATIC team is visiting that Dragon. I think they're just counter warding. Does not look like they're actually engaging in on it, but still within 10 minutes, almost no kills. Then all of a sudden FNATIC 4 kills, no problem. Bjergsen with that barrier is going to have to use the Playful Trickster, try to get on out of that. The Shunpo is enough to get the kill for sOAZ, because both the top laners have come mid once more. That's just going to keep adding here to the kill lead for FNATIC.
At this point, I mean, obviously Wolves is kind of in a bad situation. They're on tilt from that last game, Winner taking a really bad cleaver, but Cyanide having to blow his ult. I mean, obviously Wolves is on tilt, and this isn't a situation where you clearly want to be, but they're not so far behind that, you know, this is something that we're seeing stop really early. I mean, we're 12 minutes into the game, and we've only really seen, you know, the 5 kills. It's not really all that much considering what we've been dealing with so far this tournament.
still 5 for 0 though, and especially if you are on tilt, I mean, you just look at that score and your morale just kind of sinks a little bit. It's just like, such an important game, and we're down 5-0. I mean, either you got to step up or you're going to fold, and hopefully Wolves are going to be stepping up to the pressure. Now, Bjergsen, however, was that stolen?
It looked, actually,
that
yes.
was beautiful.
Rekkles actually did get that blue buff with his true shot barrage. Holy cow, that was... I didn't even actually expect that one to happen. I looked at it, was like, nah, that's totally not gonna... Whoa. Yep. He landed that.
Milestone after milestone, FNATIC still increasing their lead, taking away that blue buff out from Bjergsen. Now, if you've noticed, we've had a little bit of a lane swap as well, because we've had xPeke go up top, and we don't actually have a blue on the map right now for FNATIC, but you can probably expect Katarina top lane to be taking it. Lee Sin very likely not needing it, but yeah, we've had a little bit of a lane swap. Lee Sin is now mid to take on that pressure from Fizz.
Neither lane was really truly getting anywhere. When you play something like, a Lee Sin or a Katarina, it's not good enough to just trade in the lane. It's not good enough to just equally farm. You really need to shut the other lanes down. So when they switched that one out, I think that was the idea, that they wanted to shut down both, Elise and Fizz rather than just one of them.
Well, Elise has actually been keeping up with the creeps, 108 to the 116 there of Lee Sin, but still 2 kills over top of her. Other than that, the other lanes haven't even hit the triple digits quite yet, although, I mean, again, Rekkles, 136 to the 101, and Katarina, 104 with that kill and 2 assists to Fizz's 86. This Fizz pick so far hasn't shown its worth quite yet.
No, and Fizz is definitely a mid-game style champion, so if anything happens, we wouldn't see it yet. A true shot barrage landing down on top of Zyra. Zyra getting taken out by the Leona. Zyra actually getting picked off by the turret at the same time, so both of them getting traded. But Rekkles finishing off Corki with a nice Mystic shot, and then he's going to trade that out for bottom lane.
Well, at least we got a kill on the board for the Wolves with that revenge, but that was just an extreme amount of burst to go for that tower dive. At the same time, Bjergsen not getting the best of trades in that mid, and FNATIC just 2-manning this dragon at 15 minutes. Cyanide and sOAZ, nice safeguarding, nice health regen, able to take it out pretty simply. And this is not exactly the first time I was expecting out of a Mundo, but Mundo has the Ruby Sightstone.
I was just about to point that out. I saw that and I was like, wait a minute. No, but actually, yeah, I expected this. Like when they first started talking about how the Sightstone worked, I was thinking originally, junglers and supports are going to be the first ones to start buying this one. I actually assume that we're going to see top lanes start to pour money into it as well. Because if you have 1 or 2 Sightstones, I mean, that's a lot of free wards. But if you have 3 of them on your team, or even 2 Ruby Sightstones early on enough, I mean, you have the entire map covered with wards, and those are constantly available.
I mean, yeah, Season 3 is bringing a lot of changes to the way that we traditionally do view, the roles of the supports and everything, but we're going to have to see if we're going to see more and more teams as time goes on, if they do indeed pick up multiple Sightstones per team. But either way, Cyanide has done a pretty good job of just warding all the various objectives. Look at that Zenith Blade landing on top of the TheTess, but he's able to Valkyrie on out of that. And Godbro coming in there, chum the waters as well. Bjergsen, however, looking for that kill, eventually will get the Rekkles, but he does drop for it, and look at the death on top of Wolves. Is that an ace? No, it's not quite an ace. Godbro still alive, 69 hit points and counting. He's well on his way to running for his life. Look at that, Lee Sin does Lee Sin have any wards? No, he doesn't.
Actually, Godbro might even suicide into this tower. I don't know that he's actually going to be able to make it away from this when he's recalling back into that bush.
Teleport.
Teleported down to that bottom or that top lane turret. Godbro actually just running out, and there's the execution. But yeah, that was definitely a really good trade there from FNATIC. I mean, you clear 4 people out of the team, you take that mid lane turret, and FNATIC is just looking extremely strong at this point. I don't know that their Fizz pick, coupled with the the Xin Zhao jungle, I don't know that it's gonna be enough at this point. I mean, they could very well turn this one around. It's always possible for something to happen, for FNATIC to maybe not be totally there in a team fight, or for Wolves to kind of get some form of advantage somewhere. But it's looking to be another game. it's gonna be really close.
11-2, 10,000 gold at the 17-minute mark. We already have that infinity edge on Rekkles, who's just been farming like a champ. 2-1-6, did drop that last team fight just to that huge pressure that Bjergsen was able to bring to the table, but still 2-1-6, 170 creeps. How much gold has he actually farmed up? 7,200. In fact, wow, this is a little bit of a dismay to see. 4,600 gold is the top gold, and that's Corky for the Wolves. Everyone on FNATIC is above that, and that's the highest amount for the Wolves.
This is one of those games where you start to look at it and think, I would be amazed if something would turn around. But again, you gotta remember, I mean, these people all did qualify together. Sven actually getting on top of Rekkles. Rekkles did actually get taken out. xPeke almost getting taken out as well. xPeke finally goes down, and Godbro is really low. Sven is also pretty low as well. Cyanide sitting there around that blue buff. Corky just alone at the top lane. Leona ult popping on top of Corky, and there goes that Psionic Wave, and FNATIC finishing that one off as well. Cyanide actually smiting the blue over that wall. Bjergsen actually using that troll pole, popping back over the wall, almost juking this one, but Cyanide was ready for that and finishing off that one from Wolves.
So what might have looked like a 2-for-0 exchange instead became a 2-for-2. sOAZ, however, does look to be in a little bit of trouble. Really good safeguard, but here comes Elise with that last, I think that was her Q. Yeah, Venomous Spite, able to pick that one up. So 2-for-3, but still, Cyanide putting up this big pressure bottom lane, was able to, as you say, smite out that blue, which is a fantastic move for FNATIC, and they're going to be ending up, taking another tower. We're at 5 towers to the 0 here of the Wolves, and just, throwing insult to injury, we had the True Shot Barrage go down on top of the Wraiths that we had Sven actually trying to farm out.
This is a rather interesting game so far. I mean, this isn't something where Wolves can say, they've pretty clearly won this one. We can just surrender and move on to the next game to go. This is it. If Wolves does not turn something around here, FNATIC is going to walk away with a win.
We do got pings going down exactly where the FNATIC crew is kind of sitting. Winner throwing down a little bit of harass on top of xPeke, but it does not land on top of Rekkles. Just maybe looking for a little bit more pressure, but still, Wolves seem very confined at this point. And as you say, if they don't turn something around, if you back a wolf into a corner, it's supposed to become as vicious as possible. You really can't put him in that situation. Can they grab this kill on top of it? nRated, the Chum the Waters will land on top of him, and there goes the 3 talent strike from Sven, but the shield and the flash means that she's going to be getting out of this one. Rekkles, however, now is exposed. We got sOAZ with the Dragon Kick, just trying to keep Rekkles alive, not able to do so, but Sven is going to be dropping to that Ignite. We also got Cyanide now here as well. xPeke maybe looking for that Death Lotus, is able to pick up the kill. Shunpaw's on over. XL Winner is dropping another Shunpaw, going here to the knee Godbro. That's going to be a very, very dead Arachnid.
I keep looking at this and thinking, something, the Wolves, there's just something that they've got to be able to do. But, xPeke obviously popping in on top of the Fizz, and xPeke cleaning that one up. But every time I look at it and I think, I don't want to believe that this game is completely over. But FNATIC is just wiping the floor with them. They're completely working together as a team. Every engage, they start at the exact right time, and they disengage properly every single time. They turn it around. Wolves is in a really, really bad position. I cannot imagine what they could possibly do to turn this one around. I mean, the biggest thing that would happen is that FNATIC would have to really mess up a fight, and not just one, but, the next 2 or 3, and even then, I don't know that it would be enough.
For whatever reason, chat is going crazy. I have no idea what's going on down there. But as you said, I mean, it just doesn't seem like there's really anything that the Wolves can do, as they get wiped pretty much left, right, and center. We also got this big pressure now coming out. Sven's going to get caught out. There goes the Crescent Strike. Bouncing Blades. Shunpo. Yeah, it's going to be enough. xPeke solidifying another kill. And down south as well, Zyra dropping to Leona. You don't really hear that too often. Sunlight's usually healthy for plants, but at the same time, we also have a revenge kill coming down on top of sOAZ. Does not matter because Cyanide and Leona once again picking up more kills. The only person still alive out of this one is TheTess, and still he is on the retreat from this Rekkles, who does have himself that Zeal 22 minutes in. It's very likely a dead set of towers and an inhibitor. We could very well see a push to end the game next team fight here from FNATIC.
I mean, the timers are there. I mean, Godbro and Bjergsen won't be up for another, 15, 30 seconds, and there goes down TheTess. It's going to be a 3v3 no matter which way they look at it, and obviously you've got Rekkles just free pushing that top lane. Yeah, he's going to have to turn that around, and GG comes in. FNATIC goes home with the win from the THOR Open.
$10,000 in their pocket. They did not drop a single game. The round robin, 5 rounds, 4-0. Sorry, yeah, 4 rounds, 4-0. Semifinals against Mouse, 2-0. Finals against Wolves, 2-0. I wish I had champion music at this point because I would be playing the hell out of it for the Season 1 champions. And again, they are just in supremely strong form. Ever since they won DreamHack, they came second place, only losing out to World Elite just a little bit at IPL 6, and now they're coming into the THOR Open, and they don't lose a single game. I gotta say, impressive stuff from the FNATIC crew. They should be very happy with this win.
Without a doubt. I mean, they've just been looking so strong lately, and it's not even just, a few events. FNATIC has just been on the ball. No matter what happens, they're always working together. And I gotta say, as a spectator, as a caster, as someone that just wants to be involved with the competitive scene more, this is what I want to see out of these top pro teams. They mesh so well together, and I can't drive this point home enough. They know exactly what each others are going to do at any point. They know it because they play so much together. And I gotta give it to FNATIC. They've just been absolutely dominating.
Apparently I said IPL 6 and you didn't correct me, so I'm blaming you on that one.
I'm not going to correct my fellow caster. That's just rude. I was hoping nobody else would see that.
Oh, don't worry. There's always people catching that. 23-minute win. Very impressive stuff. Either way, they go home with 70,000 Swedish kronas. I like to call them the SEKs. S-E-K-S. Good times here, though, at the THOR Open. League of Legends first annual, guys. So, hey, if you liked what they were able to do here for League of Legends, make sure you hit up these sponsors. You hit up THOR at the THOR Open. Find them out. Give them your support, and they might come back with another tournament for you guys. So, very impressive stuff coming out from them. Congratulations once again, FNATIC 2-0. Pretty much everyone here. And that's going to be it for us here in, let's see if I got this right, Kistamässan, Stockholm. I've been the fourcourtjester. You can find me out there, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Where can people find you there, Mr. Insigma?
You know what? It's got to be the same thing. Just type in insigmatheory into Google, and you're going to come back with my Twitch. You're going to come back with my YouTube. My Twitter is where everything that I do gets absolutely posted. I've even got a Facebook I'm starting to use a lot now, too. So, head on over to Facebook, type in insigmatheory. That's exactly what you're going to find. Again, I just want to thank everyone for what's been going on. All the viewers that have been with us since the start of this. All the the teams that have been just pouring their mechanical skills and pouring their souls into these games. I mean, yeah, FNATIC did take this all away, but Wolves, you have to give them credit. They did extremely well in the round robin phase and the semifinals.
They did extremely well, that's for sure. I don't have anything here from the admin, so I guess that we're just going to wrap this up. Thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure to check out the THOR Open, and hopefully they will be bringing you more tournament content. Until then, enjoy your League of Legends. Enjoy Season 3. Take care. Have fun. Good luck. All that fun jazz. We'll catch you another time.